Hello, welcome back to my workshop. Now today's idea is just my take on some really simple Cathay inspired bamboo fences using the little bamboo stalks I've used in the previous Crumbs video if you've seen that already. They have moulded detail on them, little notches and points on them that you can see after you've clipped all the leaves off. They're really easy to glue together and you get a lot for your money, so you can make a big amount of fence if you really want to. Give the video a watch, like it, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you really like what you see, give the channel a subscribe and I'll talk to you afterwards. So starting with the base, just gone for, this is a 6-inch, or I think 1.5 inch strip of just cardboard. And like the bamboo forest, it needs something for the bamboo to be able to stick in. So I've just rolled out a long, thin kind of stick of milliput again. I'm using quite a bit of milliput this week, as you can tell. And just to build up a little bottom layer, just squish that on like that, and then try push it out, feed it towards the edges. So I'll kind of thin this out now. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to go all the way to the edge. So again, we're going to put like some texture paste over it. However, similarly with the bamboo forest, we just need to put some sort of holes in so we can actually put the bamboo in. So I've got a little one of the bamboo stalks, and we're just going to work out a little bit in like so, evenly space them, so one dead center, one a bit in from that end like that, and then we do one either there, one about halfway again. So in theory, even though these aren't long enough to go full end to end, there will be a little bit of overlap over the middle post, then you can put two and make the full 6-inch length. So really what we've got to do now is just leave this to cure, and then we can come back and start the texturing. So I skipped ahead at this point and put the texture paste in already, and as you can see, it's got the holes in for the uprights. Next thing we have to do is just snip them. So first off, we want to take all the leaves off the stalk. I've collected all mine just in a little tub, just to put to one side, because I'll think of a use for them later. And quite simply, just get a fine pair of snippers, you could even use scissors really, and just cut them off, and you're going to be left with a good looking, detailed stalk like this. You can see on this, the mould line running down the centre, and also the little attachment points to the leaf still, but this is kind of what you want, as it looks, you know, more natural. Because all the branches are essentially from the same mould, you can use them to get the same length pieces on each cut. So if you grab one of the little growth points there, just near where my thumb is, you can use that as a marker to always cut the same height bar, leaving probably just a little wider bit at the bottom. So just snip it off there, and then you can just line it up with the rest and just snip. You get about 3 of these out of one stick. A little bit left over, which will be, you know, just good for a little bit of detailing or scatter, but you just make as many as you need for the bit of fence you're working on. So the good thing about doing a 6-inch piece is the bamboo stalks are actually 4, so if you cut off one section, which is about 1 inch long, you'll be left with something that reaches just about halfway, but leaving room for a little bit of overlap with the other branch to make, you know, a rail for the full length. And now we've got 5 pieces, we can just now glue these into the holes that we've left in the base. So just one more top rail to be made, snip off another 1-inch section and keep that for, you know, the next set of rails you're going to make, and then we should be able to now start gluing this all together. So spreading out the bits and getting hold of my trusty Gorilla Glue, it's just a case now of getting the uprights, dabbing a little bit of glue on each bit and putting it into the holes that we've left whilst we're putting the paste on. The good thing about this step is it doesn't have to be particularly neat. You don't have to get them, exactly facing straight up, because in my opinion, something that's a bit more angled or, slightly off to one side, I think is a bit more rustic and would fit with the sort of more ramshackle theme of these, because they're probably not quite as sturdy as a wooden fence, although, bamboo is very strong, but would do the job for blocking movement and sort of, stopping animals and people wandering onto your land. So I'm going to fast forward us on and we'll pick up when we've got all 5 uprights in place. And as you can see with these, the uprights are not, totally straight up as much as I did try, and also only roughly evenly spaced. Some are slightly, close together than others, but this doesn't matter. It all just adds to the overall look, I think. The next step with these then, before painting, is just to attach the rails. So just chucking a bowl of glue at the top, and I'm just going to lay the 2 rails on top and leave it on its side somewhere with a little support under it to keep it flat. Just leave them to dry. And with the second rail in place, we are about there for this one. So I'm just going to leave this to dry and we'll come back and give it a nice coat of paint. When that was all dry, I just gave it a black undercoat and a quick coat of paint just to get some colour on it. So for the earth, I used Layo earth. For the bamboo, I used middle stone. Gave both a dry brush with Agrax Earthshade, and then both a dry brush of Ungor Flesh, which I think has come out pretty well. But base-wise, just need to add some flock to this, so we'll do that now, just to give it a bit more of a grassy feel. Cheek down there. A little bit of glue and just got to find my old brush. Yeah. And then we'll get some of that on. Areas, random shapes all over. You can go quite heavy with this if you want. Right, so we've got that. So we'll do this for this one. So let's move this glue out of the way so we don't end up putting flock on the glue itself. And we just want to sprinkle it onto the edge like that. And because we've got the sheet down, like I said, we can dust it all off like this. And then there you go, just looks a bit more done. So I'll call that battlefield ready, just got to leave that to dry, and I'm going to go do the other bits and pieces now. And then we'll see them all together. And I can scoop this flock back into this. And there we go, some nice simple bamboo fences. Give the video a like, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, whether you think it's good, bad, or anywhere in between. And as always, I will see you next time.